Hey guys, welcome to a very live and remote podcast from North Carolina.
Special.
This is a special that's double the Gidlow, double your fun, double your everything. So, I am here with 4 Gidlows. I'm not here with myself.
Three Gidlows and a Lugo.
Yes. Well, no, Kelly's a Gidlow Lugo.
I kept my maiden name.
Right.
So we're here with my brother, who is always here, Thomas Gidlow.
Back and feeling a heck of a lot better than last week.
Yeah. And then I'm here with my little sister, Haley Gidlow.
Oh, hi there, guys. Nice to meet you.
That was her test voice that she was doing when we were doing audio test. And my second oldest sister, she's the one above the ladder for me when it comes to age.
Hello. Yes.
Kelly.
Hi.
That was a great, very smooth introduction. Kelly Gidlow.
Hi.
Of Ghost Vlog fame.
Oh, yes.
Ghost on the Fly.
Ghost on the Fly. If there are a few people that get the reference.
I think
I wanted
two
to
people
get
might.
you tomorrow, and
I don't care, but I'm not going to be, yeah. But yeah.
Anyway.
So,
Hi.
This is a bit different than what we planned. We definitely wanted to do something special, and it was going to be Tom and I doing it together in a room where we can actually stare at each other. But now we have...
we were just going to stare at each other for 2 hours.
Now we're all staring at each other.
This is 4 of the 5 Gidlow children. I don't know if Katie would ever want to participate in something like this.
Yeah, Katie probably
she had the opportunity, actually.
She did.
She did.
Poor Katie.
But I don't think that she would be able... Well, she likes movies and stuff, but not quite...
Yeah, it's like rom.
She would be able to
She has a
commentate on
surprising taste in movies. I found that she likes a lot of like really dark movies, like Jeffrey Dahmer. She was really
Oh yeah, she likes serial killers.
serial killers
and bad horror movies. She does
Bad
like
horror movies.
paranormal. She likes those. And
Oh yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, welcome to the show. All right, so we're gonna kind of jump into before we get to news stories and everything. We're gonna jump into kind of our reviews of the week. Tom and I did a double feature and saw RoboCop and Not All You Need Is Kill. That's the Tom Cruise movie.
We talked about how many times you could say kill in different titles and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
there's
3 Days to Kill was the movie.
Yeah, yeah, which is different than the next 3 days. But anyway, we'll get to that after. Haley and Kelly have both seen the Lego Movie, but separately from us, and actually separately from each other. But the first day I got here, when I was visiting, we went to go see the Lego Movie, and that was Penelope's, my niece's, Kelly's daughter's, very first movie ever. She just turned 1 yesterday.
yesterday.
So that was, I think, a really good movie to choose.
I think it was. I don't know if I'm supposed to just go, but anyway.
No, I was gonna say you and Haley kind of review it a little bit, and Tom and I can chime in.
I've never seen a movie from the perspective of a parent, and seeing her enjoy it, and seeing, it wasn't really about what I was seeing and what I was, gleaning from it, but I would see her dance along to the action.
Everything is awesome.
And everything is awesome. She thought that was awesome. She clapped, she sang, she danced. I don't think any other movie would have been that enjoyable for her, because we talked about seeing Frozen or the Lego Movie.
Oh yeah, and I kind of had the option to sway that towards Frozen, but I wanted to see the Lego Movie
because he'd
again.
already seen it twice.
Well, and the other thing too is there's plenty of movies out there that are like just candy cane type movies. Like, just put your kids in front of it and it'll distract them for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But this had, a lot of references that I'm sure you could have enjoyed.
Well, I was reminded a lot of Toy Story. The original Toy Story was a lot of that geared towards parent kind of jokes, but still really enjoyable for the kids, because it made so much sense from a kid's eyes. And just seeing a movie as a parent was a different experience than I thought it would be one, and I really took a lot of joy from her getting so much joy from it. And she really did enjoy it, and so I really enjoyed it, and my husband really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed them enjoying it. It was fun. It was a good family film.
We all enjoyed it.
It was all enjoyable.
Word of the day, enjoyed.
Word of the day. But it was fun to see with your family and really get into with your family, and there was a lot less of me looking at Daniel going, "Did you hear so and so's voice?" And a lot more of "This is really cute," and it was really fun and enjoyable.
What did you think, Abe?
Oh, I thought it was so good.
Are you gonna do that the entire
No,
time?
no. But I just thought all the because it incorporated a lot of the major movie characters that Lego has produced. Like they've produced.
Oh yeah,
Legos
like they have the
Batman
licensing for
Superman and
Lego
Wonder
created
Woman
Batman,
was in it.
Batman
Well, Warner Brothers.
Lantern.
Warner Brothers has the rights to the entire DC catalog, so they could do any of the DC characters, but they couldn't. Obviously, you didn't see Spider-Man or anybody in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a
So
point...
the film rights to those characters they could easily do. Actually, the writers were saying that they had more notable characters in the main group of their ensemble, but because of rights issues, it was a bit harder, so they had to drop characters and create their own.
It didn't hurt anything.
Yeah, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also again reminded of Toy Story. Did they have to license every one of those toys?
They would have to have the film rights to that, because Hasbro owns some of the rights to when it comes into that, they have to have the film rights to feature that. But I mean, those weren't characters; those were toys, so it's a bit different when it comes to Iron Man or something like that.
Hello, Battleship.
What? No, I'm saying Hasbro.
Game though.
They turned that into a film. I'm talking
Right.
about characters specifically. That's when rights get really muddy,
Dicey.
because Disney owns the right for I think when it comes to cartoons, they can do Spider-Man crossing over or Wolverine crossing over into the Avengers and stuff like that. But they can't do that in the movies. If they try to do that in the movies, they get sued by Fox. So it's that kind of thing. But what were you saying?
Interesting.
Oh no, I was just gonna say there's a bit in the movie where I didn't realize. I realized it was Jonah Hill.
As Green Lantern.
As Green Lantern.
Did you not catch Channing Tatum as Superman?
I didn't. But then I realized because they're in that movie together, they're playing cameos.
21 Jump Street.
Oh, I didn't
21 Jump Street.
realize
I was
that.
just like,
I
this is
didn't
funny.
get that
Well,
either.
no, the guys who
Because-
wrote and directed this wrote and directed 21 Jump Street.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of their own
included them in it.
inside joke.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
funny.
was just like, oh, wait. I looked at it afterwards. I was just like, oh, that's Channing Tatum.
I didn't end up having a lot of those moments that I usually have when I'm watching a movie, especially a cartoon, where you come out of the movie a little bit and you hear the voice and you associate the voice with maybe a different role. The only voice I did that with in this movie was Jonah Hill, where I was like, oh, that's Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
But everybody else,
Exactly.
I think I had to ask you at the end of the movie,
I didn't know it
was
was Jonah
that
Hill.
so-and-so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard him.
Jonah Hill
got
had
a very distinct
he had a
voice.
more recognizable voice than pretty much anybody else.
And he's not typically you don't think Jonah Hill voice actor. You know,
that's true.
You
I
barely
was
think
just
Jonah
proud-
Hill actor.
Proud that I knew exactly. I could tell instantly of all the Star Wars voices who was real and
who
who was
was
not.
real and who wasn't.
Yeah, the only
It took
one
me
that
a
wasn't
second.
was Harrison Ford.
It took me a second with Harrison
Yeah.
Ford because I've been it took a second because at first it was like, hold on, Chewie, it sounded a little bit like him, but as he talked, he didn't have that gruff.
Oh, Will Arnett, that was the one I didn't recognize. Yeah, I didn't.
Oh yeah, I asked you that. I was like,
yeah,
you know who
said
that is? And I was
it's
like, it's
Amy
Job.
Poehler's ex-husband.
No, I
or
said it was
whatever.
Job. I didn't
Oh,
say
yeah,
I didn't say
yeah.
anything about Amy Poehler.
I
You're a
couldn't-
liar.
Sorry.
But no.
Among
For
my
the
many
life of me, I
sins.
couldn't figure out who the girl was.
Oh,
Because
yeah?
I
Elizabeth
could
Banks?
I could
Elizabeth
see
Banks.
Yeah, I didn't
her
see
in
that
other
either.
movies, but I couldn't just put it. I couldn't quite nail it. But
Yeah, she was in Pitch Perfect, wasn't she? Mm-hmm. You know, she's gonna
Announcer.
direct the next one.
Pitch
they're,
Perfect.
They're gonna make another Pitch Perfect, and
yeah,
she's
I
directing
saw
it.
that. Oh, that's cool. I heard something.
And she
about,
sang at one point, "Everything is awesome."
Oh yes, which is Tegan and Sarah, and they will be on
Oh,
tour
yeah.
with Paramore in March.
Tegan
really-
and Sarah featuring
Lonely Island.
Lonely
That was
Island.
pretty cool.
If you really think about this movie, it wrestled with some pretty adult themes.
Yeah.
Like Big Brother kind of themes, like the everything is awesome, wake up, follow your
Oh yeah.
instructions. and
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Well, that's
It
what
could have gone to a really dark place.
Yeah, well, I mean, the darkest it went was like, and you'll be put to sleep anyway. And then
Anyway.
he's like, wait a second, did they just say put to
Put to
sleep?
sleep.
And then it's just like,
Everything is, oh, where's my pants?
Yeah.
what was I thinking about? Oh, I don't care. Like, it was just, that stuff was
I really,
pretty hilarious.
I loved the end, or towards the end, when he was saying that you really just kind of have to, like, I don't know exactly what I got, like, you have to be yourself and not,
It's
like,
more so like, you know, you don't have to play, you know, when it comes
Yeah.
to Legos, you don't have to,
Toys are toys.
yeah,
Yeah.
toys are toys,
They're
or
up
just
to
in
your
general
imagination.
creativity.
Yeah,
It's more so about
imagination.
creativity. You don't need to, you know, draw inside the box.
And the
Sort of thing.
I know you guys have talked about it previously, but the marrying of the real world with the Lego world was done in a very delicate way, and it
Yeah.
was done in a way that you could hear. You could go back and watch the movie, and you can hear the different things that a kid would be saying about Legos. Like, I don't think it's any kind of spoiler or anything to say that.
It's been out for a while now. So
Well, yeah, but at a certain point, saying unleash the micromanagers, and I just thought that was so funny because that's something that a kid would hear and pick up and think is a dirty, awful, horrible thing. Like, oh no, micromanagers, because some parent came home, it's like, he's just a micromanager, and then go into their room and these micromanagers are keeping my daddy away from playing Legos with me or whatever. I really liked it. I thought it was a lot better than I thought.
I think that's like everybody's thing. You go in with like expectations that it's going to be good and it's going to be funny, but you don't necessarily think movie, that deep aspect is going to come out of there.
Well, so few of them are like Toy Story, so you go in with a sort of muted expectation.
That's true.
But when
I really had no expectation.
Well, you can't.
I didn't know what it was.
How can you go into any movie saying this is going to be like Toy Story if you've never seen it before? So I was pleasantly surprised and it lived up to it. It was like, the same thing with like Up. You don't really know until you go into it, and then it turns out to be. I can't watch the first
10 minutes of Up.
WALL-E was kind of like that too.
WALL-E was
so Lego was our favorite Pixar movie.
Oh, wait a minute, what?
No, yeah. Well, it's really gotten to the point where Pixar is like the only one who's doing 3D animated movies that actually mean something. That actually touch you at an emotional core level.
Well, I think they really, really, really take the time. I remember watching a behind the scenes thing of Monsters, Inc. when I was like 14, and I remember them saying about the story development, it had been in development for years
and years and years.
Usually when there's an idea like that for a kids movie, it's out the gate. They don't take the time to really make it mean something for the parents that are going with them.
Yeah.
So I think Pixar really takes the time with the story and
the nuance.
Yeah.
That's like Finding Nemo. That took years and years for them to sit
and they announced Finding Dory a few months back.
A lot of people are getting kind of outraged about like all these sequels coming from. But I don't get why, because Monsters University was excellent.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I haven't seen it. I didn't care about Cars in the first place, so the fact that the second one sucked didn't really surprise me. But
no, did they make Cars? Planes? And Planes wasn't Pixar, though, was it?
You have to say yes. You can't just nod.
Cars?
Nobody knows if you nod.
Cars 2 was a Pixar movie. It did come out. And then Planes was a Disney animation movie. And then they already have another one coming out. There's a trailer for it already.
Yeah, it's like...
It's Fire Rescue or something like that.
I think they hit a fountain of young, like... children. Preschool age boys that are I'm fast like Lightning McQueen.
Well, John,
get her done.
I just picked up
get her done.
I picked up Pimple Hardcore.
Well, no, I mean my nephew he's seen all of them, can quote all of them to you. It doesn't matter what the story is about. He wants to go fast like Lightning McQueen. And after Planes came out, that's the one we got him for Christmas. Yeah. He's like,
John Lasseter is like the head of Pixar. Is like a huge car guy. Like he loves cartoons and everything that he's done.
I would say
he's a big car guy.
All the Pixar movies, though, that's the least developed as far as story.
Cars?
Yeah.
Well, the first one was really good. I remember seeing the first one and I liked it, but I never had an inkling to watch the second one because the first one I just kind of stumbled upon.
Yeah.
But
I found it to be forgettable.
Yeah, but in general, like Pixar, when their sequels have been well thought out, and I'm really excited for Finding Dory, but the general reception was like, great.
Well, that'll go into what we talk about later about like RoboCop and stuff. It's when you hear something originally, it's like, screw this. This is stupid. It's just another remake, or it's a sequel.
Well, that's a remake.
It's retread. It's crap. And then you go watch it, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't keep people away from watching it, I think people will be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. So
I'll see it.
So for everybody, Lego movie, thumbs up.
100 thumbs up for the fourth week in a row we've talked about.
Take your firstborn to see it. It's a good time.
Yeah,
Let her eat popcorn.
I've seen it 3 times now.
There's only 2 F-bombs, so that's no problem.
Well, we talked about that in the car the other day. The worst movie is like gosh or whatever.
Yeah, the worst word.
Yeah.
Gosh and heck. Batman says heck at one point, and like they say you got to kick your butt and stuff like that. Yeah. That's
is it
the hardest
PG? Is it PG or G?
I don't know.
But
probably
again,
PG.
it would be PG, stuff that an 8-year-old says,
explosions.
Oh,
I love
Lego explosions.
I was reading. I was looking at one of the posters again, and it's there's a rating description that always makes me laugh, and it's thematic elements.
Yeah.
Thematic elements is a thing that says like PG-13 for thematic elements.
Mm-hmm. Because you go to a movie to see.
I would hope there are thematic elements to it. Otherwise, what's the point of going to see the movie?
It's not a movie. Then.
Warning. cinema ahead.
Yes.
Warning, dark room.
Warning.
Yeah. Dark room with low lighting.
Loud noises. I want to see loud noises.
Loud noises.
Yeah.
I love
sound
lamp.
levels too high.
Oh, jeez, that would be hilarious.
Big
Any Michael Bay
screen.
movie would be epilepsy warning.
God.
But yeah, okay. So Tom and I can review RoboCap and
Robo Boat, right?
RoboCap.
RoboCop.
So I've seen this movie twice now, and the reason I chose, we could have seen 2 new movies, but I really wanted to see what Tom, since I was coming down here, just to see what he thought. But I think along the lines you probably had I think in general, when I originally reviewed it on the Hub, I was saying it was kind of shaky when it came to tone. Did you catch that at all?
No.
Because
No.
it seemed that you didn't have that issue that I did.
Oh, is that the one that you had mentioned to me during the movie, or like? Oh no, that was the other movie where it kind of loses you a little bit.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was not RoboCop. Okay. Now this is about Detective Alex Cross and his
Alex Murphy.
Alex Murphy. Okay, right? No.
Alex Murphy.
Alex
in Detroit.
Cross, isn't that
Alex.
an
Cross.
80s?
Did I really
It's like
just
a
say
book.
Alex?
Yeah, I
Cross?
thought you were making a joke for a second.
I
But
thought he
then
was too.
Good one.
Alex Cross is the
Along
John
came the
Patterson,
spider.
right?
RoboCop.
Yeah. John Patterson, right?
Huh?
Patterson. Alex Cross.
Robert
Oh, the guy that
Pattinson?
wrote it. Yeah,
Yes.
maybe. I don't know.
Haven't you read those? Anyway,
I've read one of the
Morgan
books,
Freeman stars in RoboCop.
but it was one of the way one after. Yes, Morgan Freeman is RoboCop and
Not
turns-
Lawrence
yeah.
Fishburne.
The whole cast of
Oh,
Batman.
not that again. So yeah, no, I didn't think there was a tone problem at all. I was actually very surprised, like I was saying earlier. I didn't. I had low expectations because I had no idea. Like I haven't seen the first. I think as a kid I saw bits and pieces.
Yeah, me too. I don't think I've ever seen the first one all the way through.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I didn't remember if it was a TV show or a movie or a cartoon. Like I really couldn't remember.
it looked like a TV show.
It wasn't that memorable to me. So, but I remember obviously what he looks like, and
Yeah.
I remember the basis. Like he had been injured, and they put him in there, and
essentially killed.
right. But I thought they did an incredible job with like setting him up and explaining how he gets into the suit and all that stuff. And I thought it was as realistic as I suppose you can get.
2028, right? I think was
Yeah.
the date.
Like I mean, there's some incredulous. Okay, can he really survive without? Could somebody really survive even if the technology existed with that few bits of his body left? Because I don't know, you guys didn't see it, but it was like
he didn't have a heart, didn't
he had lungs,
He had
his
lungs
heart.
in his
No, he had his
hand.
lungs, his heart, and like part of his torso and his
No,
neck.
actually, none of that.
Or
that
none
was
of his
just,
torso.
No, it was
He had a
literally.
hand.
He had a hand. He
That
had
was
a,
it.
he had
a hand, his lungs, his heart,
and
like
his face
some
and
vital
brain.
organs,
Yeah.
and then his face
Yeah.
and brain, and that was
Everything
it.
else.
Everything else was
was
machine.
machine technology controlling things, and
So I guess theoretically, you don't need like all of this. You don't need your arms, your legs, and your all that other like skin and stuff. But it was very realistic to where it was like uncomfortable when they took away his suit.
Oh yeah, I love
yeah.
that scene.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that scene when that.
And you
happens.
could almost feel his pain and being like, "Oh my god, what the heck's going on?" You
Yeah.
feels like weightless because there's nothing there. It's just a head basically, and
Yeah.
some body parts. So I thought they did a really good job of explaining that, or explaining his backstory. Did they change his backstory a bit?
Yeah,
Like they changed a bunch
the way,
of stuff. it
No,
seemed
yeah,
like.
all of that's pretty different. In the original movie, he gets killed. I think it was more so randomly. He just came across a crime in progress, and
It seems like
they-
an 80s
they killed
thing.
him.
They would just randomly, like,
and he was just
do-do-do-do.
slowly remembering the people who had killed him, and he
Yeah.
hunts them down, sort of thing. This had a different story entirely to it. But I think one of the reasons why I found it tonally different was because probably the group of people I saw it with. I mean, because that can change your opinion a lot.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, I found that a lot of the stuff wasn't exactly landing the way it was landing with me, with James and Jordan.
And that
and them.
lowered your overall.
I think it did
feel of
because
the-
when I saw it the second time, I wasn't really seeing issue with the jokes that were happening.
Yeah.
So I really think it is the people you go see it with.
Well,
And
that's the thing for me. Like, it doesn't take much to get a reaction for a joke like out of me. Like, I'll go ha ha ha. Like,
Yeah.
if there's a joke or something like
Good
that, I'll
God, I
laugh.
hope you don't do that in a
But I mean,
movie.
if somebody's a little bit more hardcore, they might hold it in or whatever. But I don't know.
hardcore.
That's really
um,
funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm being stupid, but
No, you're fine.
so yeah, but I mean, it's to me like it actually kind of turned me around a little bit on all of these kind of remakes and retellings and
which I've
all
been
this
trying
stuff.
to tell you for years.
Yes, and I'm of the opinion like I would like to see more originality, and I'd like to see more of the getting away from having to recreate everything every 20 years. It seems like, but this was one of those instances where I think they did a far better job now than they did back then.
Yeah.
And it was way worth rebooting it just to get it so that it's...
Yeah.
Because now they can do another movie, and I'm sure it'll be really good. And they had a really good cast. The cast was absolutely amazing.
I'm surprised you never mentioned anything to me. Then again, we didn't really talk about it.
We didn't talk about any of it
because we went straight into 3 Days to Kill.
Yeah.
We talked about 3 Days to Kill a little bit, but RoboCop, we went right after RoboCop into 3 Days to Kill.
Mm.
But I'm surprised you never mentioned to me because you're like, I figured you might have liked Abby Cornish, the wife, a bit.
Yeah, no.
What'd you think of her?
Yeah, she was really good. The kid was really good. I think that was part of it that kind of makes the story like human, obviously, and it makes it a complete story. Was that I bet you never saw that part of it, or if it was just a fleeting kind of thing. It was on the old thing. There was no familial connection to where he has to.
There was like because he instant like none of the whole him going through the process of becoming RoboCop wasn't in the original. It literally just cut to him being RoboCop and not remembering anything. And slowly that just kind of uncovers for him, sort of thing. And so he doesn't know he has a family at first, and he doesn't know who he is. He's just a robot cop. And I think the whole necessity like that came with the whole corporate wanting to, that wasn't in the original at all, about the whole drone stuff. It's very timely. Like, when it comes to
especially about drones.
Yeah, drones and robotics being in the country and stuff like that. Like it didn't have any of that in the original, so they were able to really add new topical layers to this.
And it felt kind of realistic. Like, it wasn't like the machines were overly designed and like it wasn't like the Transformers where the actual machines are so over designed and every moving part has 50,000 different things that are moving along, and it's just impossible to... Huh?
The Matrix.
Well, not so much the Matrix. It's just the way they design the Transformers they're impossible to follow. I can't watch the screen because
you don't look at it and see that's practical.
But they don't look like the Transformers that I remember.
Oh yeah,
obviously they're so far gone from those.
I could never switch those things either.
Well, like in the cartoon, you had the red Transformer guy, the leader with the red. He was a truck and he was
Optimus
red.
Prime.
Yeah, and you knew he was Optimus Prime. You can't tell them apart now.
Yeah, you just forgot his name.
But
I couldn't name him.
What do you think of the effects? Because when I watched this movie, I was like, I kind of like at the very beginning once they start showing the robots on the ground, I'm like, I know that's CGI, but at the same time, it looks so damn realistic.
Well, they had, and the thing is too, I think they blended the CGI.
Did you saw RoboCop?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then you feel free to chime in with your review. I'm sorry, I didn't know you saw it.
Fine.
But they used the CGI really well, especially with the robots, because it made it feel like it was more realistic than like a human straight up acting like a robot.
Yeah.
Or just a CGI robot. Like, it was a good blending, I thought, of the effects. I think they, again, like most action movies, although not with the second one, I actually pointed it to you, the 3 Days to Kill, that they actually didn't do the whole choppy camera thing in a couple of different spots. Well, they
did choppy,
and refreshing.
They did choppy cutting, but yeah, no, it was pretty...
The cutting, yes, but I'm talking
shaky
about
cam
the
for
action
RoboCop.
scenes.
Shaky cam for RoboCop was pretty bad.
Yes, and I understand they want you to feel like, oh, you don't know what's going to happen. You can't see, because if you were in there and doing it, what they're doing...
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to tell what's going on either.
Yeah.
But I would like a little pan, just a little
Yeah.
more stable, so I at least can have some idea of what's going on.
It wasn't even the fact that it was shaky cam. Is like that movie uses a lot of long lens shots where it's like really like the camera's pretty far away, but they're zoomed in.
Yeah.
So when you do shaky cam like that, it's like it's hard to watch.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of that in
Yes.
RoboCop. I couldn't imagine if that movie was in 3D. That would be kind of nauseating.
Yeah,
but
there would have been some epilepsy.
I'm surprised that wasn't in 3D, because that's a movie you'd think would be in 3D for a big action.
Yeah, that was in
sci-fi
IMAX, right?
Yeah, it was in IMAX, but not 3D.
Did they shoot any of that in IMAX?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But it's a good looking
movie. It didn't seem like it. No, it was good.
It's a good
it just seemed
movie.
like it was a regular movie just blown up on a really bigger screen.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like a special IMAX movie or anything like that.
Yeah.
And was that suit? I mean, maybe part of it was CGI, but was that a real?
I don't think
suit they built around
there
him,
might have been elements around the stomach. I was thinking that might have been like maybe he had green on him or something.
Well, like when the guns come out too and stuff like that.
Well, that obviously.
Yeah,
like the boots maybe.
I would think there'd be elements in there. I mean, it was for the most part a real suit.
Mm-hmm.
But there were parts where it seemed like you could see inside of it a little bit and see the mechanics. So I wasn't sure if some of that was CG.
Yeah.
But yeah, what'd you think about Gary Oldman?
Oh, I loved it.
He was the highlight of the movie
so
for me.
Good.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing. Like he
brings that human element and the morally sound.
He's
guy.
always the moral guy.
Not even morally sound though, because he was doing some iffy things throughout the movie.
But you knew he was fighting the battle within himself.
Yeah.
That he didn't want to do it.
Well,
he did it anyway.
I didn't catch this when I watched it originally, but because I was too. The first scene you see him in not Dennett's office, but the Michael Keaton's office. There's really bad green screening, at least to me, around Gary Oldman. So I'm not paying attention to the movie, and I'm just paying attention to the line around his hair.
It didn't throw me off as much that I remember.
Yeah, but like he says in that scene that he tells the guy, he was like, I when I signed on for this job, I did not want to do government contracts work, stuff like that, and he's like, no, this isn't that, and blah blah blah. But so he started already off uneasy, but I thought he did some.
I didn't even notice it. So I was sucked into their dialogue so much. I didn't.
I thought as the movie was going on, I'm like, he's doing some morally questionable things.
Yeah,
like changing his chemistry.
Well, when he went back in and took the thing out of his brain,
took the dopamine levels down.
Well, not only that, but he reprogrammed him basically, and took away his.
Yeah, so as things were happening like that, I was actually buying at the end when he was asking.
Yeah, I thought he was turning for a second, but I kind of knew that.
Yeah,
he did the sort of the thing he usually does at the end. He comes around. And,
so I really liked.
He's my favorite actor. You can't go wrong with Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Every time I see him in a movie, he's always going to be a highlight.
What do you think?
I like sinister Samuel L. Jackson because at the end he kind of started to get like crazy and just like
this motherfucker. But they bleeped him though; it was hilarious.
They bleeped him in a movie.
He's on a TV show.
Well, because he's on a TV show.
He's Rush Limbaugh.
He was Rush Limbaugh basically. Like he was the newscaster guy. They kept cutting to that, like he would do the newsy, kind
extremely biased, obviously biased.
Yes,
and at the end,
you're saying Rush Limbaugh is biased.
Oh God, yeah.
Anyway, so, but the joke at the end, he was like, he's talking about the media slanting stuff throughout the movie. He's been slanting public opinion the entire time, and he's like, the media slanting. It was hilarious. But Samuel Jackson was really good. And in any of the reviews I've seen, I haven't seen anybody talk about Joel Kinnaman, the guy who played RoboCop.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody ever talked about
nobody ever talked. I haven't seen anybody talk about his performance.
At first, I was a little off put by him just because he looks a little strange. Like he has a weird sort of
neck.
Yeah, he has a weird sort of disposition. And it felt like
his accent's kind of weird too, whereas like he kind of sounds street-ish, which is fine because he needs to be. But when he's in RoboCop, he's not so much like that, so I can understand that.
And his voice is probably altered in some way, just slightly.
Like it seemed like when he was being humorous or when he smiled, he was really forcing it. Like he didn't seem like that's his natural disposition to smile.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the character. Again, he was doing doing the character. But yeah, once he got into the suit, it was a completely different story, though. Yeah. I thought he did a great job. I was surprised. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything, though.
No, he's not. He's not a big guy. Like he's done, I think, some independent stuff, but nothing huge. My favorite scene with him, probably when it came to acting, because once he becomes RoboCop, there isn't a whole lot of. It's just like, citizen, you have 30 seconds, stuff like that.
My favorite scene in him was when he stopped James Kirk from going off the pier. When he stopped James Kirk from 9-year-old James Kirk from driving off the ledge of the cliff.
Oh yeah.
Was that him?
Citizen? No.
Oh, just like the.
If nobody gets this joke in Star Trek, the 2009 movie, there's a part
RoboCop makes an appearance at the beginning of the movie.
A robotic cop stops.
What is your name?
What is your name? James Tiberius Kirk. But no, the scene where he's like kind of Skyping his wife, and he has the camera zoom in so far that you can't see anything, and he's like on the edge of tears the entire time. And really, I think it's right after the scene where they showed where he's only a lung, where he's lungs and a brain and a heart.
Right after he found out.
Like it's like that's at a part like you said, it feels kind of weird, and it makes you kind of like. It just kind of affects you a little bit, and I thought it was I felt that this character was disgusted as the way he is.
Yes.
He wanted to die.
He really wanted to die. It was a great performance. I was very surprised. Again, I was surprised completely, just all over the board about. And I wasn't so surprised about a lot of the performances because obviously you knew they were going to be good.
Yeah, well, you see Michael Keaton and Gary Oldman and Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, and Michael Keaton's not like the greatest actor of all time. It's not like you say, okay, Michael Keaton, and you
He
expect...
can play a really good everyman, though. Like, he can play a good, like, talker, a smooth talker. He can play people like that.
Oh, and I think he played a good, like, everyman CEO kind of thing. It wasn't even, like, uppity. He was dressed in jeans.
He was like a Steve Jobs sort of, kind of... Well, not Steve Jobs, but kind of like this casual CEO kind of guy who's just kind of in it for everything.
Right.
But
then, well, his character kind of took sort of an evilish turn at the end, which was kind of silly. Where he kind of gets a little diabolical overly. And
randomly.
He hadn't been the entire film.
Yeah.
Because there was a sense that you could understand some of where he's coming from. He is running a company and he's trying to do things that are, going to make his company successful and make money. Which, you can say they're laudable or not. But then, it's just he becomes evil, like, at the end, and it's just kind of silly. But, like, okay, well, what if I kill your family? Like, he would have never inclined at all at any point during the movie. Oh, well, I'll just kill your family, then.
Yeah. But
it was a left turn.
Yeah. Good movie.
But a good movie. Yes. Really good movie. Really good movie. Would recommend it, for sure.
So, that takes us to the second movie we saw in our double feature, which was
Die Another Day.
Die another 3 days
3 days in hell.
In 3 days, I expect you to die, sir.
Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
So, we saw 3 Days to Kill with Kevin Costner, written by Luc Besson and directed by Mick G. That's it.
What an eclectic makeup that is.
It is. It is. You have... I even, again, going to the theater, I was like, this is the one with Liam Neeson, right? And we kept getting confused.
You jokingly said that.
Yeah, and
I thought you were jokingly saying that, but you were meaning that.
I thought I got that one.
All
of
a sudden, we were going to see Nonstop, which doesn't come out until next week.
But Kevin Costner plays Liam Neeson, who usually plays these roles.
Which, it has some definite similarities to Taken 2, or Taken.
Yes, easily put Liam Neeson in this role, and I think it still would have been just the same movie. It wouldn't have been any different at all.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't have been any stretch.
Yeah.
But, like, it's the same essential creative stride behind it with Taken, with Luc Besson writing it. And it's also about, this ex-hitman hitman/CIA guy, and he's now not that anymore, and he's trying to reconnect with his divorced wife and daughter, who he has not had connection with. It's the same story.
It's the same premise, yes.
It's the same kickoff point, but they definitely go a slightly different direction.
Oh, they go. It's a different movie.
I mean, it takes place in Paris, but his daughter doesn't get kidnapped, sort of thing. Essentially, like, he finds out he's still working for the CIA, and he finds out he's dying and he only has 3 to 4 months to live. Although the preview that I saw made it look like he was poisoned, and he only had 3 days to live. That's really what it made it seem.
That would have been like Jason Statham chasing or Closer or whatever that.
Crank.
Crank, yeah.
Crank and Crank 2. The first one he had to have his adrenaline up. Yeah, and the second one he had to have electricity pumping through him, which was hilarious. Which completely contradicts the first movie.
I love Jason Statham.
I do too. Oh. The first movie is hilarious because
he's so funny.
The first movie, it's like, he says at the beginning of the movie, "Today is the day that I die."
Yeah.
And then it shows him falling to the ground, and you're like, he's going to die. And then at the end of the movie, he falls and hits the ground. And in the second movie, they fucking break open his chest and put, like, this battery inside of him.
What? I saw this one. It's called Iron Man.
Yeah. So, like, he has to continually, like... Such a stupid...
Did he die at the end of the second one?
I have zero idea.
I didn't
see the second one. I just saw the trailer for it.
They put a battery in him that never dies.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Energizer
Die Hard. A Die Hard battery inside of him.
No, it's all about the inception of the Energizer Bunny. He just started beating the drum, and there you
go. So the Energizer Bunny is now Jason Statham.
Yes. Or Jason Statham is the Energizer Bunny.
Jason Statham as the Energizer Bunny.
That sounds like him.
Just keeps going and going and going.
Just like Jason Statham's career.
Yeah.
Somehow or another, yes.
All right, so 3 days to kill.
Path. 3 days to
completely,
kill.
Yeah, 3 days to kill. So yeah, he has to reconnect with his daughter now that he's not working, and then the second he makes an attempt to, and he starts to reconnect, he is
gets sucked back in.
Yeah, he gets pulled back into the CIA. But wait, there's a Sudanese family that's living in his apartment. That was the most random.
That was a bit of an odd curveball.
I liked it though by the end.
Yeah, it was good. It was.
He gets back to his apartment. See, the thing is, it had so many random threads that started at the beginning that it really threw me off. But by the end, it all connects, which is fine, which I knew was going to happen. Mm-hmm. But it was really like going about it in a very strange way. He had a family that was squatting in his in
his Paris flat.
In his Paris flat, he had this family that was squatting in there, and he couldn't kick them out because it was the winter time, and apparently it's against the law in Paris to kick out squatters during the winter. So he had to let them stay there. And that, continually
Is that
comes...
a real thing?
I don't know.
I guess maybe.
Luc Besson is French, so hopefully
he would know, yeah.
He, knows, but...
well, next time he's away for 6 months, somebody go squat at his Paris mansion. And,
Kevin Costner's Paris mansion.
No, Luc Besson.
Oh, yeah, Luc...
That would be ironic. If
all these movies he's written at this point, he has to be getting some pretty good royalty checks.
Yes.
And so he's struggling between, dying... this new job he's been brought on to do, and reestablishing this relationship with a family that he hasn't had contact with in probably years.
And the person that brings this all on is a little strange, like
Amber Heard.
Well, not the actress playing the character, but I mean like the character itself.
Yeah.
Because when you're introduced to the character, she seems like a normal person who's just going to do a job. And then she turns into a Bond villain.
Oh, yeah. It turns out her cover in Paris is being a stripper or something like that.
Well, right, but it's just the way she goes about it. It takes this weird turn.
Yeah, she has this weird... Like, it was really forceful with her being sexy sort of thing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, she was covered in, like, makeup and, like, just
sometimes
over-the-top kind of... Yeah. It is what it is. Like, it's just...
Like, she was coming on to him immediately for no reason.
Like, and it was, I mean, she was good. It was just, it seemed like...
It was really random.
Weird how...
Yeah, that's the high voltage cover Kelly just pulled up. That was
sucking down a... what is that
He's got a jumper cable on his tongue.
Yeah, that's how he does it in one of the scenes. I remember in the first one he has sex with his girlfriend to get his adrenaline up.
Read the tagline. I'm so sorry.
He was dead, but he got better.
Oh, my God.
It's legit what it says.
The tagline is "He was dead." But
on the poster for that movie.
Man, movies suck.
Hey, I don't know. Lazy. No, Crank is hilarious though. Those movies are supposed to be ridiculous.
Mission accomplished.
But
I'm sorry. Keep
3 days ago. I think that was definitely a strange element to it, but. I had leaned over to you maybe a third of way through the movie, and I was just like, this is just all over the place. You were pointing out the random editing, where there's random cuts.
There are random cuts that don't edit in sequence, it seems like, and it goes kind of jumpy, like it's weird, but...
There's a cut maybe every 10 seconds in that movie.
Oh, for sure.
They must have had like 3 cameras on every scene where they could just cut between, but well, the thing was, this was directed by McGee, who did like Charlie's Angels and Terminator Salvation and most recently, I think before this was This Means War, which I saw. And usually he has that really kind of colorful, oversaturated, very stylized filmmaking style. Except for Terminator Salvation, that wasn't oversaturated. But like This Means War was that kind of style where it was very colorful and definitely jump cutty editing, but it's very stylized. I didn't find this movie to be outrageously stylized, which I didn't leave the movie thinking, man, that cinematography was awesome. But you liked the fact that during an action scene, there's actually a steady camera that's far away, so you can see what's happening.
You could really follow the action, which I appreciated, because it's very rare these days to see action that you can actually follow. And I actually noted during an action sequence too, Dan, I was like, at least, all right, now I can see what's going on, and it's not like jump.
Like, well, you had the contrast. You watched RoboCop right before that, so
I had a reminder right just before we saw that. But I mean, no, I don't mean to make it seem like the performances or anything were less than bad. The daughter was. It took a while for her to get into her.
Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, it took a while for her to get going. Grit. I forgot that was the True Grit girl. I remember you said that, but then I completely lost it.
I brought it up during the movie. The Tom Cheney
never registered with me at all. Yeah, but I never put those two together. I just didn't see it in her at all. How old is she?
She has to be 15 or 16 at this point. Yeah. She was in Ender's Game, but I haven't seen it.
She it took a while for her. She was very like just overly emo and just like, I'm going to take the metro. And I
wasn't even emo. It was just like she was so defiant. Like she was a teenager.
Overly defiant. Like, I mean, teenagers are supposed to be, but it was a little
I'm going to take the metro. I'm going to go to a club and get raped.
Yeah.
Because it's a Luc Besson movie.
Because
that's
if
I do anything I want to do, I'm going to get in trouble.
I don't think that's how the majority of teenagers act. Like, I think some of them have some common
that
sense.
was very Luc Besson just taking pages from Taken, where it was just like, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to a rock concert thing in Paris. Yeah. I'm just going to Paris for no reason, and it turns out she's going all over Europe, and she's lying to her dad, where it's the same thing over and over again. But
no, other than that, like,
it came together.
It did come together. Kevin Costner was very good. I thought this was one of his better movies that I've seen him in. I really enjoyed his performance. I thought he was really, really good. The wife was really good. There were a lot of people that I don't know that I've seen in movies before, but they really helped kind of make the movie. Good supporting cast, like the guy that he kept putting in the trunk and beating up and all. And all the bad guys that he'd come across, he'd ask them for fatherly advice.
Yeah, which was hilarious.
He would take the one guy to his own house, like he'd go to his house and ask his daughters questions and stuff, which was funny.
I liked the father who was squatting. The father of the family that was squatting, and he was really good. Mm-hmm. And he only really had two or three real scenes. With
at the end, and
Kevin Costner, and I thought that was really good. Yeah, but. Overall, very good. I thought it was a pretty good movie. Like,
it was good. It wasn't like quite on the same level, I would say, as like a RoboCop. But I mean, obviously they're different movies.
It took a little bit to sink in for me. I think 3 Days to Kill. At first, I was kind of.
I didn't mind sort of all the many things going on. That like I noticed you had mentioned that it was kind of.
I didn't know where this movie was going,
but I mean.
Because it spent like 20-30 minutes on specifically just family stuff, and I was like, isn't he on a mission at this point?
Oh yeah, but I appreciated that they went into deeper sort of, it made you connect to them more than I meant other movies.
It took a little bit to sink in over since I saw it yesterday to now. I think it took a little bit for me to kind of register everything and be like, actually, I really liked that movie.
It was good. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
Above average, I'd say. And I would recommend people seeing it. I think it's worth the price of admission, which is always good.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
Two good
movies. Bringing up some stuff here, article-wise or recent news-wise.
Bringing the panel back in.
This, bringing everybody else. Kelly and Haley are still here.
Yeah, man.
We are.
All right, so
Sarah Palin is also here.
So this is something that actually is relatively relevant to all of us because it's a big franchise that we grew up with. Independence Day. If you didn't know, I don't know if you two know about the potential sequels that are happening. They're going to do two more movies.
Oh god.
Which they may film back to back. I don't know exactly what the plan is, but there's going to be 2 other Independence Day movies. They're moving forward with the majority of the cast from the original,
except
Will Smith.
Will Smith was a big question mark, and
he's very tall.
It wasn't. He's very tall.
That would make him a big question mark.
Anyway, he's a big question mark.
Good one.
So it wasn't sure if he was coming back. It seemed like he wasn't going to come back, but then Roland Emmerich said he was scheduled to see him and talk with him, and nothing really came of that. Seemingly. But it seemed like he might. They had 2 different versions of the script written, where one it had him in it, and another that didn't have him in it. And it seems definitively that he is not going to be in it.
Oh no!
Which he was the big name, I think, for the first one because that's when he was starting to blow up. It's one of the reasons why his career blew up. But what do you guys think about that?
Anytime you take a movie that was good and kind of meant something to somebody, and then you say you're not only going to take it and extend the characters past the point where they become...
logical conclusion?
Yeah, the logical conclusion for these particular characters, their notableness would be experienced in this movie, and that's like if you were taking a real life thing that happened and you followed these people for a certain length of time, at the end of that movie, they would be, their story would be told and it would be done. Now, if these aliens come back, it would seem to make sense to go to a different group of people that have a different or...
Pullman's been president for...
No, I was about to make that joke. Because it'd be funny if he was still president and they extended the terms. Because since he saved the Earth.
Because it's a special circumstance.
Yeah.
Can we all just point out that he did nuke Texas in that movie.
Texas,
by mistake. He was trying to. He
did say, "May our children forgive us." So he was saying that they will. Yeah, they will.
I'm
eventually
sure that will
reelect
be
him.
on the statue of him erected in front of that White House.
I really hope they come up with
or in Austin,
some really sort of weird explanation to still have Brent Spiner be alive.
Oh yeah.
I
He's
wanna-
not a
don't
head
think
scientist.
he's coming back. But yeah, like the Electoral College in the next vote, it was 49 states were for him, but Texas was against. Like Texas voted for the other guy, and
the
everybody
paper
else voted
sees
for
you
the
as a
opponent.
little boy asking for more.
I'm less concerned, I think, with the people coming back and the story being kind of, I guess, hoard out more.
Souped,
like-
watered down.
Yeah, I'm less concerned about that, and I'm more concerned about who's making it.
Roland Emmerich?
Yeah. Because since Independence Day, this guy has done absolutely nothing. And
He's done plenty. What are you talking about?
no, he's done a lot of stuff.
He's
but
done a lot
they're
of
all
garbage.
crap. Yeah,
He's done a lot of end of the world movies. He tried
Yeah.
to make that his shtick, and it did not
He's
work out.
terrible. I
No,
mean-
actually, it did work out, and I'm making money hands right now. It worked out great for him. That's why he keeps getting
but
jobs.
I can't. It's like,
But he
the
has
one
not
that
been
I
turning
can't-
out any good movies.
yeah, the one that sticks in my craw the most was 2012. That was the worst action
that
end of the
movie
world
was
movie I think I've ever
Pretty
seen.
poorly put together.
And it was terrible. It was
Oh, I'm
absolutely
thinking
horrible.
The Day After Tomorrow,
No,
which I
that-
really enjoyed.
That was.
I'm still not even crazy into
I
Day
don't
After
li- I
Tomorrow
don't
either,
like-
but he did direct that.
I don't
Did
like
he?
that guy.
Yeah.
Not
and
the
then
director.
he did 2012.
Yes.
Wasn't
Wow.
Dennis Quaid
That's why I said
in
he tried to
Dennis
make that his
Quaid.
shtick.
Yeah, I don't
and The
really
Day After
like
Tomorrow?
Dennis
I don't
Quaid
like
much.
Well, he
Jake
worked with Randy
Gyllenhaal.
Quaid in Independence Day.
Randy
so he had to
Quaid
work
I
with
like,
Dennis
but Dennis
Quaid.
Quaid, no.
Well,
Wait,
Randy
whoa,
Quaid's
whoa,
dead
what?
now, right?
No, he's in Canada.
Oh
he
yeah,
fled.
I could have sworn he had died. But
He fled?
No, I remember.
Randy
he
Quaid.
went insane.
Yeah, he had an overdue hotel bill in like Southern California, and they ended up suing him. And then he went to Canada because his wife was a citizen and claimed some kind of weird foreign asylum, and he refused to be extradited. They wouldn't get anyway. He's crazy. Is he coming back for this movie? Because I
doubt it.
might see it then.
Up yours!
Oh yeah, wait, no, he's
No,
dead.
he's dead in the movie, not in real
Yeah, he's
life.
coming back.
Oh,
The aliens got him out of the plane as he was being dead
Oh,
and
that would
transported
be-
him back
Right.
to their home
we
planet.
knew you.
Well,
we
what if they
probed you.
revived him, Tom?
Yeah, that's what I mean. And
Why
they,
did I
they
think
infested
he
his
died?
body.
I
and
knew
he'll be
he
the
fled to
spokesman.
Canada. I thought he
Anyway,
died. For some
back to my original point. I think of The Matrix, which was done brilliantly the first time. Too much time elapsed between the second and the third, and
Yeah.
the first and the second and the third. And it was written by people that had told the story they came to tell, and it was done and it was over. Let's
Men in
move
Black
on.
was the same way. That movie
Yes.
was over at the end of it.
Yes, it was.
And-
I completely
yeah.
agree with you.
So yeah, I get that.
If you don't
Yeah.
have a very rich story to tell, like Lord of the Rings, which I'm not a fan of, but I
you can tell
acknowledge that
800 movies.
it's a
of Lord of the
huge
Rings stuff.
story,
Yeah.
and it's
There's stories
got
within
enough
stories and-
weight
Yeah.
there to support 3 movies. That's fine, but you can't just go, I want to make another movie and not have any story to
mean,
go. Like
if
we'll
they-
worry about that later.
Yeah.
I liked the first movie enough to where if it was a good story, then I would go see another one.
What would that story look like to you, though?
Well, why wouldn't the aliens come back? Like, why wouldn't
No, it
they
doesn't
come back?
necessarily have to
Like,
be
we
the
see
same
what
sort of
happened.
thing. It could be a different, now that they've sort of introduced Earth to that there are other aliens, that there are other people
But-
out there. It could be anything. I mean, it could be the aftermath of that 20 years later or 30 years or however later it is.
But every
And-
element of discovery has been discovered. So it would be all nostalgia. Like finding out their purpose, why they were doing what they were doing, their routine, everything you found out about the aliens or these characters or the people has already been discovered. It's just going to be either a retelling of the same story
No, they
or-
wouldn't tell the same story again. It would
or
be,
a different group of aliens
that's what I said. It could be a different group of aliens, or it could be some sort of
that we nuke and then discover they're on a peacekeeping mission.
Well, I mean, it could be almost like a District 9 kind of thing, because you can't say that for sure that every single alien that in the first movie died.
Oh, so you're
So maybe
saying
some of them
this
are
is
still
like
alive.
The uprising of the aliens we've suppressed.
And they've kind of integrated into our world, so to speak.
Oh,
a
hey,
little bit.
Bob! Like-
No, not like that.
Well,
That's how it is
No.
in District 9.
No, but in
Yeah.
District 9,
I've
there's a
not seen it.
sub-community in the sort of tree of life, so to speak, where the aliens are the subculture, and they're subjugated and they're put to the side.
Well, I mean,
and
then
kind
that
of
would
thing.
be District 9.
It would be
Like,
I'm saying that's how the setup would be for the new movie.
could be. We don't know.
Yeah, something
it's
like
being
that. I don't
written.
know. Who knows?
We don't need
But
to project
That's
on
what I'm
the
saying. The concern
Right.
that I have for that movie is that it's going to be Roland Emmerich, or
Emmerich,
whatever the hell his
yeah.
name is, and that whole crowd again that can't make movies like they used to.
Yeah. Well, there's a top comment on this Will Smith not being in the movie, not returning, and this made me laugh. The top comment is, they must have told him his kids couldn't be in it.
No, M. Night, you're not directing.
But, yeah.
She'll whip her hair
crazy, because it seems like his kids are in everything he does.
Oh, absolutely.
After Earth was...
His last few movies, Pursuit of Happiness, I Am Legend, and like...
Hey, if you're Will Smith, I'd say,
he produced the Karate Kid movie.
My kids can't work with me, then why would I work with you? I have plenty of money. I don't need your money.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think he wants to work with them because I've seen him in interviews that say he wants for them to always stay humble, and if he works with
his son, I've seen his Twitter.
Oh, really?
Not humble?
Oh my god! No, not necessarily not humble. It's just he thinks he's like a freaking like philosopher or philosopher.
Will Smith was that age though. Will Smith was very, very boisterous and.
But never conceited. I never found him to be.
His son just seems like, and he also does that weird thing that some people do on the internet, where they capitalize every word, the first letter in every word of a sentence.
Yeah,
I do that sometimes.
That's weird. I don't know.
It's a teenager thing, though.
Why? That's extra effort.
Haley's
and you're not
the
supposed
youth
to do
on
that.
the panel today.
Yeah, well, Haley's the hip jive one.
Well, I mean, when you're however old he was, I don't know how long ago this was, if it was recent or not.
Recent.
But, I mean, he's a teenager, and he's a boy. So he's eventually going to grow out of that, hopefully.
Yeah.
You know?
The capitalizing thing, or just thinking he's...
Thinking he's God.
Okay, well, next thing on the list is the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer. We've all seen it at this point.
Oh, yeah. Karen Gillan, woo!
Oh, yeah, Haley's a big Doctor Who fan.
Doctor Who? Oh, my God. She shaved her head, and I was just like, why?
It's insignificant detail, because you wouldn't know from the trailer that's released that...
I didn't even know it was her until I saw her name. Like,
it looks really good. It looks funny.
I like her a lot.
I still need somebody to explain how it ties into the Avengers.
Yeah, that's what I don't get.
Well, Haley hadn't seen the after the credits Thor thing.
No, I did see it.
I didn't see Thor.
Thank you for saying that.
Tom has to go to the bathroom, everybody. Good luck going potty.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves. All right, so, but yeah, what was I saying?
Oh,
yeah. Okay, so Thor 2, the after the credits thing, had a Guardians of the Galaxy connection. Like, it had...
But in, like, the comic book world, how does it connect?
I have zero idea.
All right.
It had a Guardians?
I don't know.
Because of the keys thing? Because it was like the 5 keys or whatever, and now we have like 3 out of the whatever.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how it went down at the end of Thor, is like that there's this character named the Collector, played by Benicio del Toro, that's in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
That connects with Thor, because they collect these mysterious objects, blah, blah, blah. And I think Infinity Stones is what they're called, or something like that. There's this thing that he's collecting, so seemingly there's something sinister going on there. But... it'll just connect. I don't think it's going to absolutely directly connect, but I don't know. Supposedly, the whole Thanos thing that happened at the end of the Avengers, where he was like, the humans shouldn't be trifled with, to dance with them would be death. And then they just show Thanos and he smiles, and then everybody was like, oh, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
So Google was... crazy, but
I have no doubt it'll be fun.
Supposedly Thanos is more so going to connect with Guardians of the Galaxy than the Avengers.
Gotcha.
Okay. And the Avengers has already been announced. The movie's called Age of Ultron. It's not going to be about Thanos. It's going to be about Ultron, which is a completely different character that I didn't know about until I Googled him. Which is seemingly how I get all of this. I'm not a big comic book guy. Like, whenever they announce anything where it's like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's okay, I'm going to Google Guardians of the Galaxy, and then that's how I learn about the stories.
Movies like this, I find, like, as a girl going typically with a guy, they're just fun.
Yeah.
They're not deep. They're not cerebral. They're just fun.
Yeah,
I go to
the Marvel
movies and think of a meaning for it. And I think of that to connect with it. I have to connect with the movie.
You wouldn't do that with, like, a
understand.
movie like The Heat. Like, you wouldn't be like, I'm looking to connect with this on an emotional level.
Movie.
Yeah, you're going to laugh at jokes.
The way it's being marketed is very much, we're going to laugh at jokes with this kind of nostalgia. Like, if you happen to read the comic books or you're waiting for the Avengers movie, this is something fun and goofy to tide you over.
I like the adventure aspect of the Marvel movies, not necessarily the jokes or anything, but I like the adventure and the creativity that goes into them. I mean, this is a movie that is comprised of a big overgrown root named Groot
I would
and
fear
like a
that
raccoon
they may be standing on the edge of overdoing the snarky lead, unassuming kind of asshole hero.
Welcome to the comic book
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's comic books. They're adapting all of these different properties they have, and that's just one of the properties that they're adapting.
I really like him.
I mean, when you
playing
it's definitely there's either there's only so many archetypes you can do in movies where it's like, here's the snappy hero who's kind of a jackass, and then here's the all American, not all American, but this true altruistic character like Captain America, or here's this god who doesn't quite know how to behave when he's fish out of water. But like, you have these different characters that. Yeah,
that's what I said. I think that's what I'm
older,
saying. They're standing on the edge of
something.
overdoing it. I think you've got a lot of people in a lot of different places, and they've worked very hard to tie them together in a way that makes sense. Like like I said, you're standing on the edge of just throwing the sink at it, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a good time. Is it going to be amazing and I'm going to remember it forever? Probably not, but I'll watch it and giggle.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I'm quite excited for it. I thought the trailer was really good. The movie's directed by James Gunn, and he had done a movie back in the day called Super. That was kind of like Kick-Ass, but not exactly. Where
I feel like I've seen that one.
It had what's her name in it? I think the mom from Gilmore Girls, maybe.
You're speaking of. Oh man.
No. I'm sorry. It had Liv Tyler.
Lauren Graham.
No, it had Liv
Jeez.
Tyler, not Lauren Graham. I was thinking of the wrong person, but it had Ellen Page and the guy from The Office, the nerdy one.
Oh,
I can see his face.
Yeah. So he was this middle-aged guy who his wife left him, so he became a superhero sort of thing, and it was like this kind of rated R, kind of little raunchy, violent movie, and it had this like weird, quirky sense of humor to it that I guess Marvel saw and so James Gunn ended up writing the script for the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think it looks good, and I think it has an interesting backing behind it. Like Marvel is kind of going a lot of different routes with their directors. I think 'cause they keep picking people who I wouldn't expect to be directing.
I think
these movies.
that's their way of trying to keeping something that could be very stale, fresh.
Yeah.
You put a different set of eyes on it, and
Yeah.
you get a different result.
Like I can't wait for Edgar Wright. He's going to direct Ant-Man, which is the first movie after Avengers.
Not
and
horribly
really?
familiar with directors.
Well, he did Shaun of the Dead and Hot
the
Fuzz
trilogy.
and World's End. Like he did those movies, and Scott Pilgrim, which is a different comic book movie. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So I think he's a really creative director that I really like, and I can't wait to see what he does with a Marvel movie.
Let's take a minute and acknowledge the overwork of one actor that we mentioned the other day and said, that guy's in a lot of movies.
Who?
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly.
Curly-haired bastard.
He's like the supporting character of everything.
Of everything. And we sat down and we talked about it afterwards. I figured out his name. And our stepmother actually said, oh yeah, he's in so many movies. And then drew a complete blank illustrating...
She said Chicago.
Chicago.
She did pull out Chicago.
Chicago. Illustrating our point fully that he is in everything, but you can't remember him in anything.
Yeah. I'm like a human encyclopedia when it comes to movies.
Okay, name 5 movies he's in.
Okay, Magnolia,
Aww.
Step Brothers,
Damn.
Talladega Nights, The Legend of Ricky Booby, Chicago.
Boo.
Or can I not count
You can't
that
use that one.
Okay, I can't use Chicago.
3.
Tim and Eric's. What was he in Tim and Eric's? He might not have been in Tim and Eric's.
See?
Hold, I'm not. Oh, she's looking at her IMDb or his IMDb.
It is Tim and Eric's.
Well, he was in Anchor. Oh, he was in Tim and Eric's movie. Okay. Well, he was on the show. Was he in the movie? Excellent Adventure or whatever. Billion Dollar movie. Okay, so I was right about that. Okay. And then he had a cameo in Anchorman 2, but I don't know if I can count that.
No, that doesn't.
He was the ghost of Stonewall Jackson.
Yeah.
What else has he been in?
He was in Wreck-It Ralph.
Thank you for ruining that. I could have pulled that one out.
I'm sorry.
I only need one more here. John C. Reilly. Well, I've named 4. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I could have pulled out Wreck-It Ralph if I had thought
He was
about it a little
in
bit more.
Step Brothers. Did you say Step Brothers?
I said Step Brothers.
Tenacious D.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Prairie Home Companion, Dark Water, The Aviator.
I forgot he was in The Aviator.
Anger Management.
See, yeah, but sometimes he plays super...
The Hours.
I was pulling out movies he was playing bigger
Gangs of
roles.
New York. The Good Girl.
Well, the thing was, he did
Perfect Storm. He was in everything.
He did so many serious movies, and then more recently, he started doing
Thin
the
Red
comedies.
Line, Boogie Nights.
But yeah.
Wow. Anyway, so yes, everybody slow clap for John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. Well, he had done these he had done serious movies for a good 15 years of his career.
I mean, it just shows his incredible range as an actor to completely assimilate into a film.
But it's funny because
I
now
agree.
It's Tom's back.
And he's back!
But he did these serious roles for the longest time, and then he does a few Will Ferrell movies because they're friends and stuff like that, that are comedies. And now anytime he's in a serious movie, people are just like, oh, the second he pops up on the screen.
It's Ricky Bobby's sidekick.
Yeah. Shake it big, shake it big! But it's funny how it instantly decredits the actor sometimes when stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, Tom, what do you think about Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, we're still on that. All right. It looked interesting. It looked like a somewhat of a unique sort of anti-hero-ish kind of thing, which looked kind of interesting. But with only 2.5 minutes to see of the source material, I have no idea what it references. I don't know anything about the comics.
What does the flavor of the trailer give you? Does it make you excited for it, or does it intrigue you?
Yeah, I would want to go see it. I don't think I'll be waited on bated breath to follow it and see it and stuff. And obviously, I'm a big wrestling fan, so I like to see that
Dave Batista
is involved in it.
Oh yeah, the big muscular guy.
Big muscular guy. So that's cool. And he actually just came back to the WWE now. So.
Oh really?
Yes, he just came back. He'd been gone for 4 years. So that's interesting. I like Chris Pratt. I like to see him continue to evolve and continue to go
His
on.
career is going to be
he's going to be the big thing.
Flower.
He's going to be the next big thing.
Oh yeah, I love him.
He's going to be the next Sam
Worthington.
Worthington /
Sam Worthington threw it away though.
In the Brickhouse
Ledge.
Manor or whatever the heck it's called. He's in that movie, isn't he?
No, he was in the Arnold Schwarzenegger one.
That's the one. Yeah, The Last Stand Part 8 or whatever it's called.
But no, yeah,
But
he threw it away by doing he kept doing Wrath of the Titans and those movies, and those were bombing.
But he's
and
still
then
in
he tried
Avatar.
Man on a Ledge. Yeah, but he's still in Avatar. But Avatar was the big thing that
Well,
was.
I mean,
his
he's
big
still
claim.
in the next ones coming up.
Yeah,
so
well, he's the character.
He can do anything he wants.
So hopefully
between.
he takes that second leg it gives him, and he does better movies because the movies he was picking were not good.
Well, he's playing some sort of gangster cop with
with the bald and the goatee. Yeah.
That looks.
Well, Leo DiCaprio, he is not.
Yes.
As far as Titanic, using that.
No, I don't think he's a bad actor, though. That's what I hate about
it.
I don't think he's a bad actor, but he picks
really
bad
good,
movies.
yeah.
Well, there you go. Leo picked Blue Crush, didn't he?
Well, at least
wasn't that the first movie?
No. The Beach.
The Beach
was the movie he picked after the.
Yeah.
No, but the thing was, I think Sam Worthington is trying now again, as opposed to being the leading man by doing supporting cast stuff, which he probably should have been doing.
And who did Kate Winslet pick? Or one of the next ones she did after Titanic.
No. She did a really bad. I was just thinking
one
about
of
this
the
other day.
I didn't say the one.
After you win an Academy.
Mike Adamle.
After you win a Mike Adamle award, you are destined to do a shitty movie.
Yeah, that's fine. But one of the few ones.
So you can't judge the one immediately following.
No. Are you thinking Life of David Gale?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about that last week.
Yes. The Life of David.
You didn't like that movie?
One of my favorite movies
I like
of all
that
time.
movie a lot.
Kate Winslet is up there for me, so nothing you can say will change.
No, I like Kate Winslet a lot.
What was the side
She's
to
done a
that?
lot of hoe movies.
Like
nudity movies.
As seeing
She's
it,
only
I was
needed
like,
to do
this is
one, I don't know.
brilliant. But after
well, I do
seeing
more.
other movies, I now think of it as kind of almost a hokey political kind of movie.
Life of David Gale?
Yeah.
It is very political.
And I put it in the same ballpark as Runaway Jury, which I really hated. So
Runaway Jury wasn't bad, but it was lengthy.
I just thought it went a lot of different places it could have omitted, and because it has that same kind of political vein running through it.
I thought I've watched it. I've watched it recently. I thought it was still
that
just
Gene Hackman's last movie. Really?
No.
Life of David Gale, or are you talking about Runaway Jury?
He did that stupid Ray Romano movie.
Oh, Deborah.
Welcome to Mooseport.
His last real movie.
I don't know. No, I don't know. But anyway,
he should be Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Crazy tangent. Where were we here?
Guardians.
Good.
John C.
I will
Reilly.
see it.
Slow clap.
We moved on from that.
Okay, so speaking of John C. Reilly, they're releasing a new version of Anchorman 2 into theaters.
Yeah, I saw that.
Into theaters?
Into theaters. With the original movie...
For 1 week.
They had filmed so much that they could cut another movie that had nothing to do with the original movie together, and they released that as a separate DVD called... like Wake Up, Mr. Burgundy, or something like that. No, it wasn't even outtakes. It was completely
different scenes.
Oh. It was scene. It
had nothing to do with
it was
the
scenes
original.
That got cut out of the movie. They had enough to make another movie.
It is quite funny. It is quite funny.
So that was called Wake Up, Ron Burgundy, and now they're doing the Adam McKay, the director, sat down with the editor and said, "Well, do we have another movie in there?" And he said, "No, but you can release the same movie, but with completely alternate takes." Yeah. And he was saying like their alternates were so good, like they were absolutely quality alternates that they could make the same movie.
That's
but
a
with
unique opportunity for a movie to really be told the same way but funny.
It was like the 40-Year-Old Virgin. They probably could have done the same thing with.
I didn't like that one.
No, but I like the same setup.
I like that.
It's the same setup where a lot of it's ad lib. They do a bunch of different takes.
You see some of the behind the scenes stuff, and you see the camera cutting between like the different takes, and you're like, I could, jump on her like something, and then we could do this like that.
Where they're just trying to they're trying to find something funny, so they have to riff a little while in order to do that. Sometimes they go completely ridiculous routes that would never be funny, and they know isn't funny, but they'll do it just to see if anything comes up. Yeah. Well, so I kind of respect that to a certain extent.
No, and that's what the point I'm getting at with these group of very funny men and women. Recutting the movie in that kind of idea is very interesting. Yeah. I didn't see it.
The way they're marketing it is it's with 763 new jokes. But it's also rated R, which is very interesting.
I would hate to be the guy that counts that.
Yeah. But is
that different?
It's rated R, which is very interesting because the other two were PG-13. And I had read more boobs. Well, I think it's just more swearing because when I had read an interview that in order to get the PG-13, they had to redub certain phrases where they couldn't say like penis so many times or something like that, which is kind of ridiculous. But
if you say it more than 20 times, you get rated R.
Yeah. But I think I definitely want to go see it again because I saw the original PG-13 version, and I think it could definitely be interesting seeing what they went with and what they didn't go with.
I would just, very funny coming from a way, I haven't even seen the second one. I've seen the first one.
Yeah.
But just not even seeing the second one, I would definitely want to go see that just because it's different jokes.
Yeah.
And I love them.
It'd be hilarious if some theaters did a double feature.
Yeah, that would be nice.
They play the first version and then the second version.
I'd like to see the first one before I see the second one.
Play the first one and then the second one and then the...
Oh, you mean like play the first second
one and the second one?
What are they going to call those?
Huh?
What are they going to call those?
They're the same movie.
Anchorman kind of double feature. Yeah. I don't know.
No, I mean, what are they going to call it when they re-release it?
It's just called Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues Supersized Rated R Version. With 763 new jokes.
Don't forget those last 30.
They precisely counted it.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a preview clip of that up someplace?
Yeah, there's a scene in the movie where they're like, there's this new thing going around town that's just as cheap as a soda on the street corner. It's crack. And it's like, we're going to try some crack right now live on air.
Oh, God.
And Champ is like, I've tried cocaine, so this is the same thing? And
oh,
like,
God.
So they're going to smoke it on air. And I think, like, in the original version, they don't go too long with it, but they showed, like, an extended thing on the preview, and it looked funny. They went...
Rick, do you want some crack?
Oh, yeah, he's like... I can't remember what he said. But Brick was I was happy that, like...
That's hilarious or something.
Yeah. They did a lot of that with... they kind of rehashed the same joke with Brick a lot in the second movie. I think in general, like every single line he had in the first movie was golden. Like it made me laugh every single time he said anything. And in the second movie, they did a lot of like kind of response where he just does that or something like that, and that's the joke. But I think they did that like twice or something like that, and it just seemed not as funny the second time around. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see where they go with that.
Yeah, man.
This is pertinent to how we started the show. They had already before the movie even came out, they greenlit a Lego Movie sequel.
Yes,
and they just set a release date for May 26, 2017. 2016 would be pretty close. So that gives.
Why would there be a sequel?
Why would there be a sequel, Haley?
Money.
As much as when it comes to these people spend this creative team works on a movie for so long, they sink a lot into it, but the studio at the end of the day has the rights to it, and they get so they make more and more. So hopefully they don't fuck it up, and it's written by different people. The writers are...
Why can't you reach the end of a story and then be done? It was a beautifully told tale with silliness and fun and
Wouldn't you
goofiness.
like to see these characters, though, in another movie? Because this is different. This is completely different than that. This is just a bunch of made-up, it's Legos. It's just for fun. It's not like a... Who cares if there's no continuity to screw up?
Well, then pick a different toy. It was funny, it was silly, it was goofy, but the story has been told and
I'd like to see this guy's character progress, his confidence continue.
But it goes back into the point of every element of discovery has been discovered for this particular group of characters.
No, it hasn't.
He came out into the real world. We learned about Finn and his
but that
dad
doesn't mean
and
that it's
the Duplops
limited and that's it. There's nothing more that you can learn about him.
No, I'm not saying that. I just don't think the story would be as rich, and you would be expecting it to be as rich.
Yeah,
it's rare, but they do occasionally make a sequel that's better.
I think Toy Story 2 is an excellent movie.
No, Toy Story 2 is nowhere near as good as the first one.
I think it's still just as good.
I don't think it's just
I
as
think
good.
the third one is as good as
the third one is a good ending.
I think the third one is just as good as the first one. In my personal opinion, but Toy Story.
Toy Story 3.
The second one was when Woody gets
daycare.
kidnapped and he's
right, and the third one is
with Jesse and.
Third one is when they're all grown up.
The daycare.
Yeah,
the daycare one that touched my heart.
Yeah.
Yes, that was really good.
Yes.
And they're going to make a fourth one now, aren't they? Or there's talk that they might do a fourth one?
Look at his face.
Yeah.
They edited
I believe
that
so.
Yeah, I think there is talk.
They've been doing shorts. And they're doing a Christmas special. I think they had a Christmas special.
Let it die.
Yeah, why
let it reach an end?
Everything's all about money.
Well, anyway,
Tim Allen needs money.
I'm looking at these. The writers.
Tom Hanks
what else has Tim Allen got going on?
Absolutely nothing. Toy Story royalty.
Taking a bath and
it's
more
movies
of dollars.
So the guy who wrote, the people who are writing this, their credentials include Bolt, The Princess and the Frog, Wreck-It Ralph, The Internship, which was the Google movie where Vince Vaughn and...
That looked horrible.
Oh, no, it was good. I liked it.
It looked disgusting.
It looked horrible. I don't know.
It looked like a gigantic Google advertisement.
Google ad,
yeah, it was.
And then Middle of Nowhere, Girl Most Likely, blah, 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 blah. So... not a whole lot of writing credits, but Wreck-It Ralph was, I would say Lego Movie was kind of akin to Wreck-It Ralph in the sense that it was this nostalgic trip sort of thing.
Hey, and there's been plenty of movies where they haven't had to do sequels. Up never had a sequel. You're never going to see a sequel
because
of Up.
It reached. First
Wall-E
off, it's
2.
Pixar.
Pixar.
It's Pixar.
Sequels. They do sequels,
but they're rare, and they wouldn't do it
not
with.
Anymore,
they're half and half. Half do and half don't.
But with Up and with...
You couldn't do an Up to. There's no way.
You couldn't, because they reached a natural end to their story.
Ellie's alive?
Yeah. More technology brings her back.
Come on, Doug and Asian child.
I knocked up somebody else while I was cheating on Ellie? What?
No.
Ellie had a twin? Off to adventure! I think Ed Asner's nearly dead.
I was going to say... Plus, I
why
don't know what
has your
else.
character in Up got a British accent?
Yeah.
I have to go save Ellie. I wasn't British. Off to adventure. That's all I said.
It's a little British.
Adventure. Adventure away.
Oh, what's the Klingon opera guy?
Yeah, that guy. Is.
Do the...
What?
No,
Oh, aha!
Yeah, there you go.
I thought you were talking about somebody else.
It just popped in my head, but I couldn't remember what.
Yeah, we used to watch Deep Space Nine a lot, and there was one guy who was like, ha 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 ha, and so I just kept doing that anytime I was like, ha ha! Because generally they sound like, but yeah, Lego Movie, Hopefully it's good. That's all we can hope for.
Yes.
At this point in time.
Sure.
Everything
speaking
is
of
awesome.
destroying childhoods, Space Jam 2.
Oh, God.
So this is a movie
Oh,
that
God.
I think more so Tom Kelly and I grew up with. You've probably seen
I've
it.
seen
Yeah,
it.
you've definitely
Yeah.
seen
I
it.
didn't.
Space Jam.
But you
We
were
watched
also-
it to death as
Oh,
kids.
yeah.
I watched it.
I remember.
a couple
I don't
times,
think I could
but-
So
watch
much
it
so that
now.
I think Michael Jordan was growing up was more of a baseball player than a basketball
Yes,
guy.
yes.
But he actually played for the Oakland A's, didn't he? Or what?
The White Sox minor league team.
Oh, really? I thought it was
Michael
the
Jordan.
A's.
No,
He played for the minor leagues.
Yes.
Oh, that's
He
hilarious.
wasn't good enough for the majors. He wasn't
Because
good enough.
he's a
He
basketball
wasn't
player.
good enough for the minors.
Finally, something.
God.
Well, I
he's
think
not
he was
good
actually
at it.
halfway decent. But that's the thing. He always wanted to be. He wasn't sure. He wanted to be. He wanted to play baseball.
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
No, I think this is a terrible idea.
But I mean,
because,
that
yeah.
movie, if anything, it's
With
like
LeBron.
follow your dreams until you're kidnapped by cartoons and
Right.
forced to play the sport that you're good at playing. So
Right.
play that one.
Right. And then but it segued right into his return
Yes.
to basketball and him scoring
Which he had
like
already
50 points in
returned.
his second
He
game.
had
Oh,
already
yeah.
returned, but yeah, it's like
It was cool though. It was cool, and plus it was Michael Jordan was sort of like the way he acted in that. He was like sort of the innocent.
the every hero.
Yeah, I mean he was obviously not an actor, but you forgave him that, and you still it was entertaining to watch.
Because you,
I think that
I don't
want to
see LeBron James.
No, but I don't
and-
think I could watch Space Jam now and be like, "That's why I like that movie."
It's bad. Like if you go back now and watch the animation, it's probably not as good.
oh,
or-
the animation's so good.
No, it's good, but it's not like anything. What
They've
they
been
can do
putting
now.
cartoons with people since Paula Abdul did it with Scat Cat.
Good reference. That no one will get. But
She'll
no-
get it.
Well, yeah, she's listening. I'm sure.
yeah.
Hey, Paula.
But it's like
I don't
Michael
have
Jordan
Paula
was the
Abdul.
best basketball player of his time at that point.
Yeah.
And he was, obviously a multimillionaire and all this stuff. But he still doesn't seem. He had at least a little humility. It seemed like
Right.
LeBron James doesn't.
He
seem
made
to
fun
have
of
a
himself
lot.
in that movie.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
the
And
big
I think
For,
premise
for
of
those
that
of you who don't know,
movie-
LeBron James is going to be in Space Jam 2.
Who's LeBron James?
He's a basketball player.
Well, the whole thing happened
Just
was
to let you guys
the
know.
whole thing.
Is he a professional baseball? Is he a footballer?
I'm done.
No,
Well,
because
anyway.
now he'll be
Now you're
playing.
making
Okay,
fun of
wait.
me.
You bring an inherent
so-
amount of humility to the role when you start the movie by saying, "I did this and it was a complete failure." LeBron James does not have that to bring to the table.
Well, okay, so
Well,
this
that we know of.
all this started with somebody had asked him on Twitter.
Right.
He said this in a response to Twitter. People were like, somebody asked, would you do something like Space Jam or something like that? And he replied and he said, "I love that movie. Wish I could do Space Jam 2!" exclamation point. And then months
He was
later-
approached by the studio months later.
yeah, pretty much. Then now it has come out that blah 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 blah.
I wonder if it was already in
Whoa.
development.
Wait, whoa, I'm sorry. This actually, there's an update on the article now.
Breaking news.
Update.
Oh, no.
Okay, so it
It's
has
all
the article.
hoax.
It has the update now, and it says or not.
Oh.
ESPN's Brian Windhorst tweeted that there's no truth to the above report. Okay, here's his tweet. It said, "Well, it was fun while it lasted. LeBron sources refute deadline report. There's no Space Jam 2 or Warner Brothers project in the works." So this could be completely kaput at this point.
Or they could be playing it off.
I find
mean,
myself
yeah.
disappointed.
Well, why would they play off the hype that's being generated by the story?
Yeah.
Let's kill it immediately. And then bring it back to make people confused.
Why?
Okay, good.
Because there's nothing like
Why?
great confusion around
Why
That'll-
is an
that'll get butts in the
ESPN rep commenting on the validity
because
of
it's
a
LeBron James.
because it's a sports story, and they would have to go to his people to say, "Is that true?"
It does seem strange that simply a tweet was the only thing.
It
that
brought
between
upon
them.
a lot of speculation, but
Yeah.
apparently it was confirmed. But generally, see, the thing is, coming soon usually doesn't jump on a story unless it's confirmed. So that's the site I usually go to. So, but it seems that wasn't something that was 100%.
Interesting.
Well, so much.
You
for
heard
that.
it here first, guys.
It's not true, but we started to present it as true.
Right.
Like I said, I find myself disappointed.
Yeah,
Yes. Bring Michael Jordan back.
I just
Would've been
wanted
fun.
to see the failure.
I'd rather see
Muggsy
Shaquille
Bogues
O'Neal.
and that's the other thing too. Remember, like it had Muggsy Bogues, the little 4'10" guy that was bad. Basketball doesn't have any players like that anymore. Had Dikembe Mutombo and these huge, like larger than life guys that kids grew up with and kids idolized.
Wasn't Larry Bird in that movie?
He was
Maybe
in
for a
Space
brief
Jam.
part, yeah.
I don't even remember the last time I saw Bugs Bunny in a movie. or anything.
Yeah. It's been too long.
They end up bringing on that team. Doesn't Larry Bird end up playing at one point during the movie? Because they were all in the
Bill
hospital.
Murray plays.
No. I know. Oh, yeah. But there's a point where they were all in the hospital. Because that he was in it because the aliens stole their talent. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
So they start playing garbage on the court. They actually show footage of them playing basketball, like in an actual game, and they start sucking.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Maybe it gave Shaquille O'Neal some.
And they all had
talent.
weird looks and stuff. Like
they're like, and they're like all in the hospital. Like, I don't understand it, Doc. I just can't play anymore.
Why would you go to the hospital because you forgot how to play basketball?
Doc with the Cyclops, pizza grater or something on his
the pizza slicer on the head.
Oh, man.
To the OR you go, Muggsy.
Yeah. No, that just reminds me of the Simpsons episode where they play the baseball game and Burns hires all of the pro players and then they all
juices them up.
They all, in general, like something happens to them, so they don't show up to the game. Like like Wade Boggs like drinks the elixir or whatever, and one guy falls down a bottomless pit and. It was Ken Griffey who was down in the stuff, and he gets a really swollen
jaw. Steve Sachs gets
and is running with the law.
Was the one that got arrested.
Yeah.
We're talking Homer, Ozzy and the Straw. I used to know that song, but that was the Steve Sachs. They were like, "You backsassing me?" Like because he was just like, "No, officer, what's the problem?" He was like, "Are you getting a tone with me?" And they just he's absolutely fine, and they arrest him for no reason.
Gentleman.
And then Burns kept yelling at the one guy to cut his sideburns, and he's like, "I don't have sideburns." And then he shows up and he shaves his hair off. He's like, "What is that? Get off my field!" He's the one guy who showed up and he tells him to go.
Yeah, that was the funniest.
The brilliance of
one of the
Simpsons.
funnier episodes they ever did.
God, Homer with his bat, the Wonder Bat.
Doesn't Homer win the game at the end with being beamed or something? He gets beamed and the ball down or something.
And he forces in the winning run or whatever.
Bases are loaded and he
gets beamed.
Yeah. Oh God.
Good stuff.
Not once, not twice, but thrice. No, that's what it was. Burns is giving him all these signs and stuff. He's making all these things, and Homer's like, "Huh?" He goes, do this, not once, not twice, but thrice. And then it keeps going on, and Homer's just like...
Wasn't that the bat he made out of the tree?
Yeah, the Wonder Bat.
So I found a piece of sheet metal and hid under the biggest tree I could find during the lightning storm.
To protect himself from the rain. Oh, The Simpsons is the best thing ever.
If you haven't seen it, go see it.
All 28 seasons. It's not 28.
They're still doing it.
Why
haven't they grown up yet?
1943. Huh?
They haven't grown up yet.
They're just as old. They're just as old as I am.
That'll be the one they ended on. It'll be like they'll advance.
They've already done that.
They've
done that.
I know, but they'll do it for 30 years.
Forwards or whatever.
I know they've done
I really hope they do a movie by the end of it, like another movie, because the first one was really good.
They probably will.
Maggie said sequel? That was her first word.
No, her first word was daddy.
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 Oh, yeah.
Elizabeth Taylor.
She got paid $1 million for that.
Just for one line.
Lisa,
supposedly.
Birthday.
There's actually Conan does this thing called Serious Jibber Jabber on his YouTube channel, and it's him talking to important figures that he just finds interesting. And one of them is a lot of the former and still current writers and producers from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So it's the team he used to write with. It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. But that was one of the things, was the guy was like, when they brought Elizabeth Taylor, and I was just like really freaking out, and because I'm a big fan and stuff like that. But it was really interesting. I think that's pretty much it. Topic wise. Oh no, Kelly had her own topic she wanted to talk about.
I want to talk about presidential assassination movies. And I am going to challenge Tom. Hold on, I'm going to challenge Tom real quick, because this is how the conversation started with Daniel. Challenge you real quick to name the 4 presidents that have been assassinated.
The 4 presidents that have been assassinated?
Correct. Not attempts that were killed by an assassin.
Or
killed by an assassin in movies.
No, real U.S. presidents.
Well, I can't do it in order, right off the top of my head. Kennedy.
Yes.
Lincoln. McKinley.
Right.
And let me think. There was another one that was assassinated.
Correct. It took him a month to die.
I want to say John Tyler, but I don't think that's true. Don't tell me.
Okay.
Wait. God, I don't want to hold it the whole thing.
Andrew Garfield.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't have
The new Spider-Man.
Right. He's come back from the dead. He's now 28 years old or whatever.
Yeah. But Kelly was...
How many did you get?
No,
2.
I didn't.
You got 2.
Well,
Kennedy and
but Kelly was like, Kelly's point was like, there haven't been really presidential, like big presidential assassin movies. I was like, well, JFK. She was like, that wasn't like a movie. I'm like, that was a big movie.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Movie.
That was a gigantic. Like,
Lincoln movies have been done, but I mean, nobody's done like McKinley movies.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would like.
Why haven't there been McKinley assassination?
Yeah, because
was it an interesting assassination?
He was assassinated in Niagara Falls, wasn't
Buffalo.
he? In Buffalo.
In Buffalo, and it was that guy was an anarchist, but Garfield's guy. He's got a really rich backstory, and he ended up being crazy. But he wrote a speech for Garfield during the election, and a lot of people and pundits of the time said that he won the election because of the speeches that this guy wrote, and then he kind of was promised a spot in the administration, didn't get it, and then kind of went a little loony, and at the time you could kind of just go to the White House and like stand in.
You're like, I have a complaint.
Right.
I would like to speak to the president.
No, I'm
right
not.
away.
You are speaking to the president.
The president stands.
You're standing outside.
No, I'm not. I'm not kidding when I say you could go into the White House.
Security. No, I was just making a joke.
Very little security. There was no Oval Office. It was just
really
the White House.
The people's house. It used to be. You were supposed to be able to go up there.
And most of the presidents of the time had a separate residence in D.C. and they worked at the White House until it became like a residence, and the West Wing was built. States.
And then came in from time.
Got stabbed in the back.
That's why it was found to be so in disrepair when people started living there. Anyway, so he went there, and I can't remember exactly where in D.C. Garfield was shot, but it took him a month to die, and they thought he was recovering or getting better. Like
I remember
think
that
that's
now
compelling.
in school, learning about that.
Briefly, and McKinley's death was the same way. They pronounced him to be all better until he collapsed, and found during his autopsy found like gangrene raging through his body.
Say, that's like back in the day when he's fine. Like, give him a kiss and
they
blow him.
That,
not blow him, but give him,
an immobile bullet inside. One of the surgeons said an immobile bullet inside the body is harmless, and he had fragments like in his spleen and other places.
Clean the wound off. He's good to go.
Well, they kept probing it.
Stop the bleeding.
They kept probing it to find it. Anyway, this is a good story.
It should be made into a movie. I'm surprised nobody has yet.
Right, like with JFK.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be up there that much.
Well, JFK was more so a conspiracy movie.
Yeah. And Kennedy, where there was a lot of intrigue with the Civil War and everything.
I think you mean Lincoln with the Civil War.
Yeah, Kennedy wasn't killed in the booth.
Civil rights movement.
Yes. But, no, I was just going to say when you said that, shot in the back by Buford Tannen, right? Over a matter of $80.
I was just looking at the picture. He had a cab ready to go and everything.
What the hell?
He shot him in the back and ran off.
Oh, I'm going to get that guy.
That's the crazy guy.
The guy with the
cane
in the
crazy guy.
Well, who has shot this man here?
Apparently, the arresting officer was so excited that he caught the guy who shot the president that
didn't disarm him.
He yelled, "Lynch him! Lynch him!" and they were going to go hang him.
Oh, jeez.
And didn't disarm him until they got to the police station.
Yeah.
And he wrote several letters to the White House to clear a cell. He was going to kill the president. Do all these things. Like, I think that would make a very good movie. I'm going to go ahead and say Andrew Garfield can play Andrew Garfield.
Oh, that would be amazing. Oh, I don't.
I think Garfield was.
He might be
wasn't
a
he
little
a bigger
too
guy?
Garfield.
I'm thinking of
McKinley was a bigger guy.
Oh.
Garfield was. I don't
Show
think
me
he
a
was
picture
short
of
in
Andrew
stature.
Garfield.
I would like to go out on a complete stretch, and I would like Garfield to play Andrew Garfield.
They're bigger. No, I'm thinking Clifford the Big Red Dog, not Garfield. Garfield the Orange Cat. Yeah,
Clifford
should play him.
He was 49 though. I think that's a little too old for Andrew Garfield to play. But
49
that's Garfield right there.
49. Holy God. He looks like he's 89. That was the life expectancy.
Well, 49 was
old age,
was 89 back then.
Oh God.
Lord.
Aw.
Yeah.
Forgotten by history, he is. It seems.
Yeah.
That would make an interesting movie. I'm surprised like the History Channel doesn't do stuff. They probably
have. I don't.
Maybe they should do a TV movie.
The assassination of James A. Garfield.
He was killed in the library.
I ended up doing like percentages and stuff. There are 44 presidents. Is that correct?
Yes, Barack Obama is the 44th.
So 11% of the presidents have been assassinated.
That is kind of crazy. Yeah.
That's a really not good percentage.
Well,
rate.
I mean, and John Tyler died in office, I think. But he didn't die. He didn't get killed. He just died.
Well, and then I started reading about like assassination attempts, and there are a lot of really compelling stories there. Say again.
John Tyler was president.
Garfield was only president for 4 months.
He succeeded Martin Van Buren, which is the only reason I know. Because I did that project on Martin Van Buren when I was a kid.
Yes.
Or how about Die Hard with a Vengeance? Van Buren.
Yes. Lieutenant
Uncle
Van
Tommy
Buren.
in there. Hey, Van Buren, I drive the trucks down here, and I know everything about the presidents.
That's Law and Order, not Die Hard.
No, I'm Die Hard. The part where they need to know the 40, like, whatever number of presidents.
Yeah.
Because that's the clue.
Yes.
Simon Says. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it.
They were part of the Von Brauns.
Good talk, guys.
We hit the mark there, Dan.
We hit the mark. We hit the mark.
We hit the mark.
We hit the head on the nail of
well,
the
it's
hammer
gonna
with
be
the
a little
mark
short,
of the marker to bark.
We
slightly shorter. We started pretty immediately once we hit record. Anyway, hi, I'm Dan Gidlow. Thank you guys for joining me and Tom for
it'll just be me and Dan next time.
And I won't be in North Carolina.
Yeah.
We'll be
Did we mention like this
doing it over Skype? Yes,
like
I mentioned
you're actually on vacation and we're all here and
I'm visiting in North Carolina for my niece's birthday.
Yo.
That
wasn't her. That was not her.
Somebody belched.
She's asleep.
Yeah. So Thomas, sign off.
Thank you for watching and
Haley,
see you next week.
Thank you guys for having me. This is pretty fun talking about movies. I like that. So.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do special guests more often. We'll figure out how to hook it up.
Well, I want to do special guests.
I have Skype, so
Kelly.
It's been good.
And with me, Daniel.
Short and sweet.
Thank you guys for watching the Gidlow Movie Show ×2. See you guys next week.
Good night and good luck.
Fade into music.
But there's no fade. It just goes.